Cheryl, I have to admit, I've never been more nervous about guests than you guys.
Why?
I've had everyone. I've had Judd Apatow, Jordan Peele,
why would
so
you
many
be
people.
nervous?
I don't know.
Because he's in politics?
I think because he's in politics, and I feel like I'm dumb. You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't know what to say.
No, you don't have to say anything. Oh, here he comes.
Shh, we were talking about you.
Madge.
You mean Khalyla? Is it Khalyla?
Khalyla. It's like Delilah, but with a K.
Hey there, Khalyla.
Yeah.
I hear people sing that
All day. I love it though.
But I do love that song.
I do too.
When I first met her, I was trying to memorize her name, so I said Khalyla because she lived in Long Beach. I said it 1,000 times in the car, so I wouldn't mess it up. Khalyla.
Yeah.
You got it right.
I know because I said it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Your system worked.
Yeah. All right, so how you two? We don't start. I'm not gonna. Don't say anything until I say your names, okay? Until I introduce
You
you.
don't have to, Cheryl.
I kind of like it, though.
No, I like it
it's a
too,
good look.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
I like it too.
That's a good look.
So much better.
Thank you.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Honey, you don't want to listen to it on the thing?
No.
He doesn't like
I
it.
can hear you guys.
Yeah. He doesn't like it. Go ahead.
Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome to TigerBelly. I'm your host, Bobby Lee. Welcome to another episode of TigerBelly. I am your host, Bobby Lee, the king. Hello.
Yep.
And I have my queen here, Khalyla. And I have whatever he is. Filipino. Big head.
Thank you.
You got to get that fixed.
I will get surgery.
Yeah. Maybe take some of the fat out. Too white for this guy, way too white.
Yeah.
We got some shady Asians. And we also, and I have to, I have to be honest. You guys, I've never been so nervous with guests. I mean, we had all kinds of guests on this thing, important people. I slept 2 hours last night. Right, and I was just like wide-eyed. I couldn't sleep.
I've been pacing.
I've never seen Bobby Lee pace up and down the stairs.
Pace up and down.
He usually isn't even awake at this time either.
Because I know your family history. I know you. Can I say I'm a liberal? What up? What's up? Papa's a liberal, no?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I've swung a little right. Everyone's, but I'm a huge fan, and I know Mike Binder, our friend, but he's running for president of the United States. Give Robert Kennedy Jr. a round of applause, everybody. But I also want to introduce our other guest. She's from the Groundlings, and I know a lot of people from the Groundlings. I was on MADtv for 8 years, and I worked with a lot of your friends. And I'm going to ask you a question after, but you're on one of the greatest shows of all time, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Cheryl Hines, give her a round of applause, buddy. The most important question I want to ask is, do you remember me on your show, Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh, shitballs. What season?
Season 5, I guest starred.
Give me a hint.
Something about.
Well, okay, he's Korean.
I would hope so.
Season 5. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, what
That's
happened?
me.
Yeah. What was the storyline?
Oh my God, you're breaking my heart.
see,
Because I thought I killed it. I thought you were.
You did. I'm still talking about it. I just can't remember exactly when or where or what was said.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. Then.
Okay, tell me.
Larry thinks that I ate Jeff Garland's dog because I'm Korean.
Oh my God.
No, it's tracks.
Yeah. And so then I bring meat to this like wedding or whatever, and Larry tells everyone it's dog meat.
Wait, were we on the beach?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's dog meat.
And everybody starts throwing up.
Yeah, people start throwing up, right?
I remember that day.
And then Larry drives home and he sees the dog on the side of the street, right?
So it's awkward to talk about it now.
Yeah. So, he thinks I ate the dog.
Yeah.
And I want to say something,
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Yeah, please.
I've never eaten dog.
No, of course you haven't.
I have 4 dogs at home.
Yeah, of course. You're not
And
eating
3 cats. I
dog.
don't eat
No,
dog.
It's a ridiculous thing to say.
It's ridiculous, right?
That's why Larry David, he can get away with it. I don't know how he is the only person that can
Amazing.
keep saying.
And also, you're Asian, right? Yeah. Have you eaten dog?
No.
You've wanted
don't
to?
do that. No.
No? Okay.
No.
Never. Anyway,
Well,
no.
it was a great episode. And when I was on that show,
Yeah.
I was like, it's a dream come true because rarely am I on a show that I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I was there, I was just like, holy fuck. Can I swear? I was like,
your
holy
show.
fuck, I'm on a great show.
Well, wait, did you audition? Or they? Yeah.
But could I say something?
Yeah, please.
Once I walked into the room, because it was Larry Charles was there too.
Yeah, I love Larry Charles.
And he directed
it.
me in later The Dictator. I was in The Dictator, some other things that he's directed.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walked in, they kind of basically gave me the job.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they just kind of looked at me like, oh, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Now to you, sir.
Oh,
Wait, is that how you guys
You know,
met? Is
Cheryl-
through?
Yeah, we met through Larry, but you should know that Cheryl, I think, can I describe you as a little bitter about your experience with MADtv?
yeah.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean by that, Robert? Robert, what do you mean by that? I don't like your tone.
Members of your audience that don't understand why Cheryl and I would be on your show together. We're married.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
They are married.
Yeah.
We are married.
They have children,
We do.
We have 7 kids.
7 kids.
Between us.
Yeah, and Larry David introduced them. I know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but not in a way that was like, whoa, you guys should get together.
Yeah.
It was just
it
like,
wasn't like a blind date.
no, it's just like, here, you guys,
But when you first met, did you want to smash or no?
no.
No,
It was a
because
long time ago, and we were
it was. Yeah, we were both married at the time,
to different people.
Whoa.
Yeah, but so it was
and then
no,
it wasn't. I think 7 years later when we were both getting divorced, and it was on a ski event I put on every year for my organization Waterkeeper, which is a big water protection group, and we did a
Is water in danger?
water.
I've never seen water in.
We're protecting the water from.
waterways, water
Waterways.
sources. So
We have patrol boats on 350
But the water's fine.
water. The water's good. Yeah.
Okay, that's because I don't want to worry.
From polluter.
Oh, from polluters. My bad.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh yeah.
polluters.
Environment stuff.
Yes.
environmental stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because people fish in these waters, Bobby.
Drink these waters.
They drink it.
the
I thought just they
water.
were like being destroyed. Or I don't know. Anyway, I thought there was a war on it. I thought there was a war on water all of a sudden. But okay, go ahead. So you're on a ski thing.
So it was a pro celebrity ski event.
Well, who's there? Who's there?
Name drop.
Well, Larry David for one.
That's a big one.
JB Smoove was involved at some point. Marcia Gay Harden.
JB, he's black, right?
He
Yeah, I like him.
He is. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But there were lots of people that would come.
Yeah, we had a lot of. We got a good turnout.
Good.
I could go through
No, but don't.
a list, but it would sound like I'm name dropping, which I'm.
Weird
All right,
question to ask.
sorry. That was a dumb question. So you're at the ski resort. You guys see each other.
They didn't want to ski. You didn't want to
Oh,
ski.
me and Larry. No, we weren't going to ski. We were just going to go and say hi. And Bobby was like, the next thing I know, we're being fitted for skis, and we're like
And I, by the
shoved
way,
onto
I
a
had lived
ski
with
lift.
Larry for spent 2 summers living together, and then we were going on. We went on our vacations together.
Oh.
Families did.
That's very sweet.
Oh, and our kids attended the Hebrew summer camp together. So my daughter was best friends with Larry's 2 daughters, and yeah. So so he had just started Curb, and he brought Cheryl with him to the ski event, and they didn't intend to ski, but they ended up skiing.
Yes. That was at the very beginning. So then I didn't really know him for years.
I know, but when you first met him, did you think he was attractive?
I thought, you know what? He wasn't really my vibe.
In your face. Oh man,
How does
how
that
sad
feel?
is that, man? Holy man, you gotta live with that.
What?
I
Hello.
I just remember.
Surprise!
A surprise.
I remember him wearing pleated khakis, and I was like, "Whoa, okay,
Whoa,
whoa,
dude.
that's not my vibe." But
No
also-
one's vibe. That's no one's vibe.
No one's vibe.
She got me out of those immediately.
Well,
Yeah.
that sounds weird.
Because you look great now. What you're wearing now, I love. You know.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool jeans.
This was my uniform, blue jeans before I got sober.
Oh, okay.
It was part of my changing the spiritual realignment when I came in. I switched to khakis, but then she.
She broke your spiritual life.
But
Yeah,
it was like a slow burn then.
Well, I never saw him. I never really thought about him, no offense, for years. Our lives were just in different places. And then at some point, like years and years later, I was going through a divorce. He was going through a divorce. And so I saw him. I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then,
She came to another event, another ski event.
yeah.
7 years later.
And then there was like a little connection, like, oh, hi.
And then I went.
And he is
I went to Larry. I knew when I wanted to date her, when I could tell how attracted she was to me.
In heat. She was in heat.
You can tell that, huh? Your senses, okay.
I went to because I know Larry has a lot of rules about that kind of stuff. So that since she was his television wife, that it would be important that I ask his permission. So
That's what, yeah. It's something that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds
right.
normal.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah. So then,
I went to the Carlisle Hotel at 11 o'clock at night and had a meeting with them about
Is that real?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, I want you to know that I'm attracted to Cheryl. And what would you think if I was dating her?
And what do you say?
He shocked me, and I know this isn't what he was thinking. I know now that this is not what he was thinking because he later reenacted this in the show, and where Ted Danson kind of
Oh, right.
Ask for
played my
permission
part,
to
and
date.
and then it came out what he was really thinking
Oh, in the show was coming. Wow.
in the show.
Yeah.
In the
But
show,
to
he
me,
told Ted
said-
no. He was like, no, you cannot date her.
Wow.
But he did anyway.
He acted very excited and happy, and he said some things about Cheryl that I now know to be true, and that I suspected, and which he said that she was the most perfect human being that he'd ever
Oh,
met,
heaven's sake.
and that he said she was beloved in her industry, that she was the only person in the industry who didn't have a single enemy. That's true. Those are true quotes that he told me, and that should be widely known.
Yeah. Because I have so many. I don't know how.
have so many
I really do.
Yeah,
You do?
he's beefing
Oh, yeah.
with
I beef with
everybody.
everyone. Yeah. I have wars constantly through
That
30
they're
years.
involved too, or is it just you against them?
It's me against them. They're not aware. If I'm driving down the street, I see them on a billboard, there's a war.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah. How dare they get
Yeah.
more
If
successful than me?
someone gets like a
Exactly.
star on the Walk of Fame,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I
a
lose
war.
sleep. I'll lose sleep
He'll
for a
lose
week.
sleep
Yeah,
over
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I get
anyway,
She's got a star. Did you know that?
do you want to start a war with me?
yes, that's why I'm here. That is why I'm here.
Wow. So, but like you guys obviously lived together for years.
Yes. You mean now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're married, live together.
We do.
Because I want
We
to
do.
ask, and this is an inappropriate question, but I mean, do you guys do human things like fart on each other?
On each other?
Or like, or
we-
fart, or
we
fart.
do.
No, you fart, and then you go, "Oh, that was a good one, baby," or whatever. Do you,
That is not.
I don't think we've ever had that discussion.
No. That's
well, you
not
guys
part
hide.
of
You
our-
hide it.
I would say I hide it.
I'm
Good.
a hider.
There we go.
I'm not.
She
I'm
hides.
not.
She
So in the
hides.
10 years we were together, not
Yeah.
a single fart, not a single
Yeah.
anything. I'm
Yeah.
a hider for
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
Yeah. No, that's not our household.
I'm like, like it's war. Yeah.
That's like my brother. That's like my brother.
That's like your brother. Yeah.
They do a lot of weird things, but that's not one.
Okay, but you guys snuggle. Do you guys watch a movie and snuggle together?
Yeah.
We do.
They're human beings.
I don't know. I mean, because I asked the fart thing, they were like, "What are you talking about?" And now the snuggling thing is a thing. out of your mind? I don't know now. You know what I mean? So you guys cuddle then. And you watch
Yes,
a movie.
we
You
cuddle.
cuddle. All right.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but you know,
It's settled.
That's
it's
fair.
settled. I mean, I just didn't think I'm saying, did you think the fart thing was inappropriate? A little bit. Okay, sorry.
That's,
You know who
bad.
doesn't cuddle?
Who?
He doesn't cuddle.
Oh,
He is not.
I refuse.
you don't like
refuses
skin on
to
Time is money.
you've got things to do. Are you just like,
Well, it's
when is this over?
Don't you think it's a waste? You're just sitting there, and don't you think it's a waste of time a little bit?
How?
Don't. It seems like a time to connect with someone. No, is that
Thank
crazy?
you, Cheryl.
But
Thank you.
Robert, can you back me up on this, right?
Oh,
Just listen to me.
okay.
Just
go
listen to
ahead.
me,
Try to
right?
convince him. Try
Yeah,
to convince
yeah.
him.
30 minutes, fine. But don't you think that because there's 24 hours in the day, right?
Yeah.
There's people you
things
got to
to
call. There's things you got to write. There's things
Yeah.
that you got to do, right? Doing this for more than 30 minutes is a little. Come on.
But don't you think it like slows things down? It's just like okay,
Oh, like meditation.
yeah,
you mean.
connection,
connection,
restoration.
I mean, what do you think the point of life is?
Ooh, great question.
Good question.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Holy crap, man. I think the point of life is to live in the moment
Okay.
and to, I think that the number one thing is just to be centered in here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the future and the past. They don't exist. And to be here. And I think the whole point about life is helping others, to me.
Yeah, and don't you think having intimate connections with other human beings is kind of the apex of that aspiration?
Yes, sir, I do. But I also want to tell you that I do that. But I'm just saying that some women want 3-hour cuddle.
I have
sessions.
never asked.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you, but women have done that.
It's a 15-minute sesh would be great.
And that's all I was asking. You know, I mean, 15 is
Okay.
fine.
But
You
you
know,
never give 15.
I do 5s.
You do
Ooh,
five.
fives. You can't do anything in 5
And then
minutes.
he
Can
just count.
you?
You
Oh,
can
can
feel
you?
him counting it down.
Can you?
Yeah, he's like, I can't wait till this is over.
Yeah.
No, sometimes I have a stopwatch.
Yeah, you're like, and done. And time. We're out.
All right, so you guys watch movies and you cuddle and stuff.
Yes.
And do you guys, these are weird questions,
No,
but
please.
do you guys shower at night or in the morning? That's a very good.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's
that's
fair.
I'm dating a girl right now. She doesn't shower at night. In the morning, I'm like, you sleep dirty?
No,
I would say both.
both. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, both is important.
Yeah.
Wait, so repeat that again, Robert.
Both.
So you shower at night and in the morning.
Well, I exercise in the morning, and so I'm going to shower after I exercise.
Okay.
You wash your hair in the morning and get dressed for the day. And then you go out and you do all your stuff. And then you take a bath before you go to bed. Because I'm not going to go through my hair thing again.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. And then what I also didn't get is why people brush their teeth in the morning. Prize Picks. It's fun. Prize Picks is my favorite. It's the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season.
And we know you love football.
You just select 2 or more players. It's so easy. Pick more or less on their projected stats, and then you place your entry, my friend.
And testing your skills on Prize Picks this football season is the most excited I've ever seen you when you play the daily fantasy sport.
Oh, I love it.
And I know with your skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps, Bobby.
I've done even more. I'll tell you that. I'm good at it.
And you know what you're really good at? Quick withdrawals. It's quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. And this is what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Like, for instance, Bobby, you know Saquon Barkley, right?
I love Saquon.
What's your prediction for more than 60 yards and maybe Patrick?
Maybe 70. And Patrick will do it the same.
Say his last name.
Patrick Dimsley.
What about Aaron Rodgers, Bobby?
Aaron Rodgers is the best of all the Aaron Rodgers. Prize Pick offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Pick discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value.
And Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season.
Go to prizepicks.com/belly and use code BELLY for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/belly and use code BELLY for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
And then, what I also didn't get is why people brush their teeth in the morning.
I brush my teeth in the morning.
I brush my teeth a lot.
Well, I'll tell you why. You want to listen to my theory,
Yes.
though? All right. I brushed my teeth at night.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't eat a roast beef sandwich at 3 a.m.
Well, what about coffee? Do you drink coffee in the morning?
I do, but it's
So
like,
you don't brush your teeth after coffee?
well, that would mean, I'm sorry to argue, but that would mean I would have to brush my teeth after every meal or everything I drink.
Which you should.
That's what you do?
After every meal, if I can.
As she does.
Well, I've got such big teeth.
Your teeth are great.
I know they're really big, so I have to really take care of them. Otherwise, it would be crazier than they already are.
You know what? You're right, because
And he's got like 18 missing teeth, so
you want to see?
Oh, yeah.
Look down here.
Oh, you didn't want to get an implant?
he didn't want to brush in the morning.
Ooh.
Well, okay. All right. I rest my case.
Wow. He's good.
I guess you're right. Robert, I think you got my vote. you got my vote, buddy. Wow. That was really good.
How long have you guys been together now?
We've been together since 2011. So that would be, 13 years.
Are there ever some things you so strongly disagree with in terms of like, and vice versa, that have either changed the other person's minds on everything, just like ideology, politics, all of it?
I mean, anything we disagree on, I lose. So
No, that's not true.
that is the rule.
That's not true. But I do think so, because sometimes, Bobby is such an inclusive person, and he says yes to whatever you want to ask. I have a cousin coming in. He needs a place to stay for 2 months. Can he stay here? And I'll be like, can we talk about this? And next thing I know, the cousin's at the door with
we had 2 guys this year who spent, I think, 2 months each in our house recovering from surgeries.
Yeah, so
And I didn't ask permission before.
Oh, you have to ask, Robert.
thank you.
Yeah, you have to ask.
Thank you.
I know that now.
And then you slowly build a resentment.
Well, I try to get it out. At night I'll just say, look, this can't happen again. If this ever happens again, and then it happens again. But he
Nice.
definitely taught me, because if somebody asks me something that I think will be difficult to do, before I met Bobby, I would say, let me think about it and get back to you. And he always says yes. And he's like, we'll figure it out. Like, if this person needs something, just say yes, we'll figure it out. So I've started to come around to that idea more and more. So sometimes I think, what would Bobby do? And then I'll, just say yes and know that we'll figure it out.
I think it's sobriety that you learn that from. Don't you think the 12 steps and AA maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I made a conscious decision at some point that whenever anybody asks me to do a favor, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
And then if I can't do it, then I'll say, well, I can't do that because I'm in Boston on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like if Cheryl asks me, will you do me a favor? I don't ask her, what it is. I say yes.
Yeah, he says yes.
wow.
No, he says yes.
Yeah.
And I need to know what it is first before I can.
yeah.
It's like, what do you need? Yeah.
But I think that's the whole idea of when I said helping others, is because it's like, for me, I was so self-centered, thinking about myself. And then as soon as I got sober, or every time I get sober, it's just not about me. It's about going out of myself and helping others. And that's why I go to meetings, not for myself, but to say hi to a newcomer or shake their hand. Like, I started my own A meeting on Wednesday mornings for comedians, because I just think that comedians need it. And I see that in you, in your life, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know if we've had any presidents that practice the 12 steps in their lives. I don't know of any, but I mean, I would love that. You know what I mean? Because they would apply that into.
It's interesting because Ulysses S. Grant, who's not given credit for what an extraordinary president he was, but he was a hopeless alcoholic. He was really debilitated by alcohol, and he lost every business that he got involved in. He was probably involved in between, I'd say, 12 and 20 business ventures, and every one of them failed.
Wow.
He was a very hardworking guy, and he ultimately joined a group that was called the Washingtonians, which was a predecessor of the Oxford group, which was the predecessor of AA.
Wow. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what influenced Bill W.
Bill W.
Oxford, yeah.
and the Oxford group.
Yeah.
And the Washingtonians and the Oxford group both collapsed because they took very strong positions on prohibition. And that's why in the AA traditions, they say we don't get involved in any public controversies.
Wow, yeah.
Because the two predecessor groups that were very much like AA both collapsed as they had gotten involved with that, very public controversy. But Grant had a guy who was the Washingtonians did a lot like AA. They didn't have the steps, but they went around and they talked. They tried to help other alcoholics, and they understood that connection that you had. The only way you stay sober is by helping somebody else.
Yeah.
And so they went around and they did a lot of public speaking, and it was very sort of Christian oriented. And then when the Civil War started, his life was utter failure. And then he stepped into this position where he instantly showed himself to be completely indispensable. He basically could not lose a battle. And the battles that were being lost that he walked in on, he turned them around immediately.
Wow.
He had this extraordinary capacity to lead men, but he also was fighting alcoholism his entire time. And he had one guy who was his best friend in childhood, become a lawyer, and that guy could keep him sober. And so when he became the commander of the Union Army, the one demand that he made on Lincoln was that this man who had no military experience be appointed a brigadier general and his aide de camp, so that guy would be with him at all times, because he knew when that guy was with him, he wouldn't drink. And that's
like a sober
Sober companion.
Sober companion. Yeah.
sober companion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he
Or it was
also
cool.
lived.
That's old school. Yeah.
He lived the AA principles and program. He was. People said the only time he was ever seen to lose his temper was when he saw a man beating a horse. He could not, even though he ordered 350,000 men. There was 669,000 Americans died during that war, and most of them had battles in which he was involved. So he was able to order men to give orders that would result in people's deaths, but he couldn't stand cruelty. And the only time he got angry was when he saw a man beating a horse.
I'm the same. I mean, I know a lot of AA people that are like so empathetic toward animals. I mean, for me, it's like animals are such a big part of my sobriety in terms of just like connecting with, with something.
He does cuddle the animals.
I know. I was
a
just
lot.
thinking.
Oh, I'll cuddle for
he
hours.
won't cuddle with a woman, but an animal.
Yes.
Yes, that's
all
worth it.
day.
You should tell Bobby Lee and Khalyla about the emu, because you had a wonderful.
An emu.
I want to know about the emu.
Tell me about emus.
Well, he loves animals.
Me
I
too.
like them. Fine.
What's an emo?
An emu is like an ostrich, like a giant bird.
They're flightless.
They're flightless.
Yeah.
And their brains
Long
are
nets, long
tiny.
necks?
Yes.
Okay.
They're
About 7 feet tall.
Their brains are tiny and they're angry.
Oh, I like it.
They're so cute.
So we had a pet emu.
No.
Yes.
At your house?
Yes.
In the backyard?
Yes, when we lived in Malibu. And this
The emu loved me.
The emo like you.
it imprinted on him.
Really?
It goes swimming in the pool and do laps, and it was.
And hated everyone else.
And when
It was
came near
aggressive.
it would lie on its back to have its stomach scratched, and it would come in our house, and just hang out with us.
Yeah, listen. No, nobody wanted it in the house. but somehow the dogs were able to open the doors, and then the emu would come in.
Oh, so they had a relationship. The
Yeah.
dogs, they're
Yeah,
in cahoots.
They were in cahoots. yeah.
Wow. And how many dogs do you have? 2?
Now we have 3.
Wow,
We
okay,
have
great,
3.
great.
But at the time, we had an emu. We had
3 dogs.
turkeys. Did we have
We had a
turkeys?
turkey. Yeah, that would come in the houses too.
Yeah. So, but this friggin' emu
Yeah.
was mean.
Didn't-
And
was jealous.
he would chase you around the backyard, and would pet you.
Really?
And I kept saying, "You've got to get rid of this friggin' bird.
Yeah.
Because
I would come home and she'd be in front of the computer, and I'd see over her shoulder that she was looking at Lifespan of Emo.
Serious?
I would look it up. I would look it up.
What?
Because
Wow.
they lived for a
Every
long
day.
time.
Yeah. Wow.
And one time I was pitching this. I was pitching a film to this investor.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for this call, right?
Yeah.
And the call came in. We had bad cell reception, so I had to go outside. And I'm outside, and it was hot. And I talking to the guy, and I'm like, "Here's what the film is about." And this fucking emu.
Which you never named it, by the way. I mean,
It was his
Toby.
Toby. So say Toby, please. Respect.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
Toby starts coming at me.
Yeah.
And he starts chasing me around the yard. And I'm trying to keep my voice calm.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to tell this guy,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being chased by an emu around my yard."
Yeah.
So I'm like, anyway, there's a woman who's, and this fucking bird is coming at me. And we go around the yard, and I finally chased him into the house and closed the doors and finished the pitch. And then Bobby came home, and he's like, "What's going on?" I go, "I'll tell you what's going on." It is that
Toby,
or
yes.
me.
Oh.
And he goes-
Ultimatum.
And it got to that point, and he was like, "Listen, if it means that much to you, all you have to do is say something." And I said, "I've said something to you a lot,
Wow.
and I'm done."
Yeah.
So he was like, he goes, "Well, I always thought it was, you were kidding." I said, "No, it sounds like I'm kidding because I'm mad at you about an emu, but it's not a joke anymore."
Yeah.
So we found another home for
It
it.
got eaten by a lion.
That was not on
and
our
that's you.
watch. That
Did it
was
really
not
get eaten by a lion?
A mountain lion. A mountain.
What?
Was it P22?
Cheryl, what have you
had
done?
nothing to do
What
with
have you
it.
done?
There was not a long mourning period afterwards.
Listen. It was not on my watch.
You guys, hold on. Stop, everyone.
Yes.
Everyone, rest in peace,
moment,
Toby.
Toby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rest in
Toby,
peace, my friend.
Toby.
Yes.
Holy moly.
This reminds me of a time my dad was really similar with animals. I grew up in the Philippines, and one day he just brought home a monitor lizard.
What? How big is that? What is a
They get
monitor
pretty big, like think Komodo dragon, but with a less infectious mouth. And same thing. My mom was like, "You cannot have that reptile. We have 2 young children," and he would feed it like chunks of raw meat. And then
Disgusting.
one day he severed my sister's finger. Just split right in half. She needed to get it stitched back on.
Okay,
They
that's
stitched it back on. They stitched it back on.
But then my
not
dad
okay.
then donated it to the zoo.
Thank
and
you.
so that's where it went to
Yeah.
live. But
And
it
did
took
it get
this-
eaten by a mountain lion? No. Like Toby.
That how big? That
Yeah.
Yes, they get big, yeah.
That's
Robert, are you
insane.
mad at her? Do you miss Toby? Let's get there. Do you miss
Yeah.
Toby?
I do miss Toby.
And you think of Toby often, right? What's the matter?
That is,
Will you allow an emu in the White House?
Ooh.
well, I wouldn't allow him into the White House, but I'd keep one in the Rose Garden.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. TigerBelly fans, listen here. You heard it here first. Emos at the White House.
Emos?
Whatever they're called. Emos.
Emo.
Emo is us. We're emo.
Don't they have black hair and they're like cool and sensitive?
Very
They're going to have
sensitive.
emos at the White House, guys. And a hot topic. He's going to be great. But
The one time the emu got in the front yard,
Yes.
and she couldn't get in the driveway.
It wouldn't let us in the house. And every time the gate opened, he would come after us, and then the gate would close, and it was just this ridiculous game. And I was with my friend, and her friend daughter is standing on top of the car screaming because she's like, "We're all gonna die!" And then the sheriff came by.
But tell him about the surfers.
Oh, well, we had these like 19-year-old surfer dudes next door. And they heard the screaming and they were like, "What's going on? Can we help you?" And I said, "Yes, you can. There is an emu on the other side of the fence."
wow.
And they said, "Okay, why don't you open the gate and then we'll distract it and you guys can run inside." I was like, "Great." The gate opens, the emu starts coming after them. They scream like babies and run home.
Yeah.
And so now we're still, locked out of the house. And then the sheriff comes up and he's like, "What's going on?" I go, there is an emu on the other side of this gate that's, really terrorizing us. And he said, is it yours? Pet? I was like, I guess so. I said, but nonetheless. And he's like, all right, have a good night, and drives off.
Oh, wow. Well, how did you get the emo Toby in the first place?
We got him. I got him. A friend of mine breeds them, and he gave me a couple of eggs.
Oh.
Hatched them out.
Were you going to make
That was
omelets
sweet.
or?
You guys are like, oh, sweet.
It's fine.
Because there must have been a point where you were like, "Oh, baby emu."
Well, he was cute when he
And
was
then
little. He was like, when we got him, he was little,
He was only this big, maybe 4 inches.
like a
Oh,
little
cute. Wow.
Toby.
Very-
But he gave him to my daughter, Kat. My daughter's name is Kat.
And then we had to get him from the East
Try to make
Coast.
friends with her. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
enough of, we could go on and on.
No, I'm so
about
riveted. I'm so.
Tobias is his real name.
Yeah, Tobias. Yeah.
Yes.
But I want to be honest, like listening to all that with your family, Malibu, how the
Yeah.
emo, this, that. It's just like people just don't know about that, and I think people want to know about that. I mean, that sounds like fun people. You guys are fun people.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're a little evil about, but it's fine.
Well,
You like to kill animals.
no, it was.
I totally get it.
I know. I wanted it to die of natural cause, but I just wanted to know how long I had to put up with him. But there was.
She used to keep saying. She used to say to me, "I don't want today to be the day that I kill an emu with a
No,
shovel."
because I had to start walking around with a shovel if I went in the backyard to keep him away from me.
Really?
And so I would wake up in the morning, I'd have a cup of coffee, I'd walk in the backyard with a shovel, and I'm like, is this how I'm going to start the day, by bashing him?
Yeah.
Like, my family comes home and they said, what happened? Well, he came after me and I hit him with a shovel. I was like, what life am I living right now?
I
Have
guess
you
you're
been never
right.
chased down by a bird?
No.
Or pecked by a bird? Oh my God, it's scary.
Like a pigeon. A pigeon.
No, like a goose even.
Okay.
No, they'll chase you down and they'll peck the shit out of
Yeah.
you.
Our
Okay.
turkeys would do that.
Yeah, I had a pet chicken named Coco for 7 years.
Oh.
And
I didn't know they lived that long.
Or
Yeah.
Wait. Coke?
Coco.
Oh, Coke. Okay, Coke.
And my dad would watch TV in the living room with Coco. Coco would drop the wing and
Did
flirt
it have a
with my
diaper
dad.
on or no?
When it was indoors.
Was it a hen or a rooster?
It was a rooster. It was a white leghorn.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Like-
so
In
everyone...
the Philippines, they do a lot of cockfighting.
Cockfighting. Cockfighting is a really big thing. I low-key we still go to them when we go to the
Yeah,
Philippines.
they're fun.
They're brutal, but
Yeah. I close my eyes at times, but it's
yeah.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, but I get dragged. I get dragged.
I'm
to them.
protesting. I have a sign.
Yeah, you're like, don't do it.
Stop. Yeah.
You guys don't
No,
do
but
it.
it gets pretty brutal. Like
Yeah, of course.
my uncles, they drag me to the cockfights, to the coctagon, and with a losing chicken, they mop the blood with a losing.
No.
They
Do you
do.
think they should change the name?
The cockfight.
I just don't like cockfights. It's just a
What
weird
would you rather
thing.
call it?
Just not cockfights.
Chicken wrestling.
That's it.
Chicken wrestling. That
Chicken
sounds-
wrestling.
They hardly
Thank you.
wrestle.
I
They
know.
have this sharp blade underneath, and it's a
No.
yes.
And their spurs. Yeah.
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 No.
Yeah.
You mean they strap
They strap a little sword
blade?
at the
Oh,
end of
no.
the
I don't want
Yeah.
to know this.
Like a
And then-
UFC, but unified, whatever. But to see the chicken.
It's a coctagon.
Yeah.
A coctagon.
Yeah.
That's the name of the place that the cockfights take.
They're
No,
little
it's,
stadiums.
yeah, it's like a little arena, but then it's not even a little arena because now
Big.
some of them are pretty massive. People get really into
Really?
it. Yeah.
Okay, aside from I want to change course now.
Yes, okay.
We're not talking about cocks,
Yes.
bird fighting anymore.
Yes.
We want to get into why Robert's running for the presidency.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
you want to do that
Of
before he
course.
goes? Don't you think we should do it? You know what I mean? And already, can I just say this,
Yeah.
sir? Can I call you sir? can I do this, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never met anybody that's
Why
running
are
for
you
president.
sweating?
I'm
You're sweating
so
so
bad.
much.
I know. Because, sir,
Are you swimming?
I gotta bow. Sir,
What is
I
that?
want you to win so bad now, sir. You gotta win.
For Toby.
Yeah, for Toby.
Because you want
Yeah.
that emu in the roast.
And I expect a position. I'll do whatever.
Wait, that's a good question.
I'll be a janitor.
Yeah, like, don't you want to be appointed? What would Bobby be appointed?
How about ambassador to some sort of island?
Yeah, the Philippines.
No.
Head of cockfighting.
Yeah. Wait. So,
gotta get him in.
when did you decide to run?
About, I don't know what it was about. We decided together, by the way, because But I had the idea first.
Yeah.
I have a favor, honey.
Like, let me hear it. This is why I need to hear them first before I say yes.
Well, so you're late at night, you're laying in bed, and you just kind of said it?
No, what happened was
You're cuddling?
because I was being censored, and then I was being very, very heavily censored on the social media, and then when the war started, when the Ukraine war, I was very critical of that, and that stuff was being censored too. And I felt like I saw that the Democratic Party, my party, had abandoned some of its key principles, including its alliance with the middle class, with the working poor in our country, that it was becoming increasingly allied with Wall Street and with the war machine and the censorship industrial complex. And so I thought, well, one of the ways that I could talk to the American public for the first time is if I run, because there's rules that make it much more difficult for people to censor you if you're running for president. But I also knew that it would not be fair to my family, and it would not get by my wife if I was just running because to push a principle but then a guy called Jeremy Zogby, who runs one of the biggest polling firms in our country, who I didn't know, but he was polling me without me knowing it.
Wow.
So he was putting me in a lot of his polls, and the numbers that were coming back, despite the kind of constant attacks on me, the numbers showed that I had the highest popularity rating of any political leader in the country. And so he sent me an email saying, I need to show you these polling results. And then he came over and showed them to Cheryl and me. And at that point, she started thinking, well, if there's really a path to victory, that she might, buy into it. And that we had that discussion for several months before finally she green-lighted it.
It's so funny because what happens, we know even as podcasters and as a comedian, as an actor, I'm online a lot. And what happens online, the things that you hear, say, and all the stuff that it's not really reality.
No,
When you go out in the world,
know.
that's
True.
reality.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what,
That's a scary part too, though. Like
It
whatever you say, you could talk for 3 hours and it can be reduced to
Right.
one
They'll take
single
out 2 words,
thing. Yeah.
and then that's what they'll go with.
Yeah,
and it's not even what the conversation.
I mean, I was just dismissed as anti-vax. I've never been anti-vaccine.
yeah.
But that was the
Label
that was the label that was put on me in order to censor me, to silence me, to discredit me. I'm not complaining. I don't want it to sound like that, but that's what was happening. And for me, I think it's better to have a dialogue.
Yeah.
And to be, have respectful, congenial debate with people, which was the kind of democracy that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Bobby was talking about, right now the country is so divided, right? There's so many people, we hate each other, we've been pitted against each other for so long. So when he started talking about a place in the middle where can't we bring 2 sides together so it's not just fighting all the time, but we try to work together, then it started making sense to me. And I thought, yeah, actually, that would be nice. Instead of hating each other, listening to each other, and figuring out how to work together. And especially, like he's talking about with the middle class, it's been ignored for so long. It started making sense. And then now that we've been out on the road together, it's interesting listening to people, real people, because once again, like you're saying, if you're just listening to sound bites, you're not really getting the whole story. But when we go out, we went to South Carolina for a long time, and you're really listening to people and what they're struggling with, and they're struggling to pay their bills, to fill their gas tank. And that's really what people are interested in and what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also a couple years ago, I was in rehab, and I went to a rehab that was like a small group, so it was only 12 people. And there was a guy in the group, he was wearing a MAGA hat. And at the time, I was gung ho, like anti. You know what I mean? I was just like a bleeding heart liberal, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm not gonna talk to that guy. By the end of the thing, him and I were very close. And I remember when we hugged each other goodbye, I kind of got teary-eyed. I was like, dude, I'll see you, call me, this and that, right? And I realized we have way more in common than not.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it was like the media, and it was like social media and all that stuff pitting us against each other.
know.
And it's not even real.
I know.
We're so similar in every way.
Right.
possible.
It's like the jangling keys. There's people who want to keep Americans apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, watch this.
Look over here.
While I'm robbing the bank and stealing you all blind.
Yeah.
And we're all looking at the keys and, not seeing that he just stole the Tesla or whatever. you know,
Yeah.
And we're all distracted by hating each other. And then, the kind of the central organizing theme of my campaign is finding values that we have in common rather than these little issues that keep us apart.
But how do you change that? How do you change, false information online? How do you change all these?
Or even how do we change ourselves from being so easily attracted by the dangling keys? Like, is there something like inherent about why it's so easy to kind of be distracted?
Well, my dad was campaigning. My dad was in really the same position I am in many ways. Because he was running against a war. He was running against a president of his own party. He was running against an entire infrastructure that was a power that was aligned against him. The unions were against him. The big city mayors were against him. The liberal press was against him. Even the university students at that time were against him because he was ending draft deferments. And the people who he had brought into power in 1960, 8 years earlier, were all working for Johnson. So they were against him. But he was able to put together this coalition by just telling the truth to people and telling them truths that they didn't want to hear. And he went against all the kind of political wisdom of, you have to tell people what they want to hear. And he would go to colleges like Creighton University in Nebraska and the students asked him, are you going to keep our draft deferments? That was the reason most kids were in college, because they didn't want to go to Vietnam. And he said, no, I'm not going to, because it's unfair that 50% of every paratrooper unit in Vietnam is black, because they don't have access to the college. He said, I can get my 11 kids into college. And get them out of the draft. That means that the war is going to be fought by black people alone, and that's not, a good result. And so he got booed at first, but then at the end he'd get a standing ovation. And he did that all over the country, telling people news that they didn't want to hear. And as it turns out, it worked. The last day of his life, he won the most rural state in the country, South Dakota, and the most urban state. And when I was, when we rode on that train and brought his body from, I was with him when he died, and then we brought his body from Penn Central in New York to Union Station in Washington. It was it should have been a 2.5-hour train ride. It was a 7-hour train ride because the tracks were lined with people, and the people were the whole cross-section of Americans. They were whites and blacks and people in military uniforms, hippies. And he had, and rabbis and priests and nuns. I remember going through Delaware and seeing 7 nuns standing in the back of a pickup truck outside of Wilmington, waving their rosary beads at us. And it was this entire cross-section of the American experience that he had been able to unite, really by telling people the truth, and instead of appealing to their anger and their greed and their xenophobia and bigotry, he had tried to remind them of the hero that's inside of all of us, and that we're part of a community, and that we've got to resist the seduction of the notion that the only way to advance ourselves as a people is by leaving our poor brothers and sisters behind, that we have to go together. And people were willing to put aside, to transcend their narrow self-interest and see themselves as part of a larger community and a noble adventure. And I think we have to get back to that vision of bringing Americans together, the Trump people, and as you said, when you start talking to people, you find all these things we have in common, and part of the censorship regime is to keep us from talking to each other.
Yeah. That was the first time where I was like, what's the matter?
No, I just want him to stay close to the mic. I am trying to.
I thought you were doing the emo thing again. I was like, I thought you were doing the Toby thing. I was like, that's over, Cheryl. We're not doing that right now.
I'm still terrified.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And ever since I met that dude, right? I want to say his name, but the MAGA guy that was in my rehab, it's opened my eyes because then I went to Dollywood. Remember I went to Dollywood, and in my mind it was like, I'm just an amusement park. Where is it in
Tennessee?
Tennessee, right?
Right. Tennessee.
And I'm like a Korean loudmouth, kind of a crazy comedian, and I went in there and. There was just love there, even for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are people that will probably generally vote right or whatever, but I felt like this kinship with people, and I just kind of went, you know what, dude? I'm not. I think I'm gonna change my whole worldview on this thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's the internet and there's just real life.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
internet vitriol. Even us podcasting for as long as we have, it's like there's that, and you go out into the world, and you're like, I'm not hearing, like insults thrown at me all
Right.
day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like people
yeah.
are generally decent.
That's true.
Kind.
hardworking
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And inherently good, I think.
Yes.
So
I agree.
how do we get? So what happens now? I mean, because I don't know much about politics, and here I'm going to ask a dumb question.
No.
Okay.
No dumb question.
So you're running in the Democratic primary. What happens? How do we do this? How does Biden step aside? I mean,
Oh yeah,
how
and
does-
then is there a debate?
Yeah, is there a debate? How does
Well,
this
it would
happen?
be good if there was a debate. I don't think that President Biden wants to debate me. And he, ultimately I can't force him to, but I think it's important that he get out because there are, people are. He's going to have to debate Trump at some point. I
Right.
think a lot of Democrats are going to want to make sure that he can do that.
If they become the candidates.
Yeah. And, so I think that he needs to do some unscripted, town halls or whatever. But, my numbers are now, are growing very, very strong.
Yeah.
And, and so then we fight primary by primary. We start with New Hampshire, go to Iowa, and then South Carolina, Nevada, Michigan. And, and so we have campaigns in each one of those states.
Yeah, and I think people need to just keep showing up. I mean, when Bobby speaks, he's drawing these huge crowds. And that says something. That says that people are really listening and getting behind him. And I think at some point, the DNC will not be able to act like he's not running because they keep trying to look the other way. There are no other candidates running, but Bobby is running, and the more hundreds and thousands of people are showing up, the less they'll be able to act like he's not.
Right. We got to pack even more. We got to get more people
Yeah,
in there.
pack it in, you guys.
So
Pack
listen
it
here, Tiger. Go
in.
check this guy. Good speaker, man. Go check him out right now. You know what I mean? Whatever city's in it, go check. Right?
Yeah.
Check him out.
Check him
There's
out.
is there a charge or charge? I don't know how these work. How much is a $5
There's no
Fugazi? Is a
cover charge.
$5?
There's no cover charge, but you can go
That's
to
free, man. Free show, man.
Yeah,
Free
you can go to Kennedy24.com.
You look Kennedy24.com and see where he's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we rapping? Because I still have a couple of questions.
No, we're not rapping. I'm
okay.
just doing a promotion for the people, right?
just pointing.
Go check him out, man. Okay. Right? You know how you guys go see us on the road? Go see him on the road, man.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper,
cheaper
yeah.
than Bobby Lee's
And it's a better show. He doesn't get naked like I do. You know what I mean? Right? He's like, it's good, It's clean family fun,
Yeah,
you know?
family fun.
It's clean,
Family fun.
yeah, not me. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Do you actually get naked?
Yeah, I do.
Not fully. Well, not fully. He doesn't show the front bits.
But I used to.
Just the little star tattoo on your butt.
Yeah, I do. I'll pull out, I'll show.
He dances.
I'll dance into my underwear.
Okay.
I'll show a little crack.
Yeah, why not? Give
Yeah.
the people what they want.
Some people go, why, too? You know what I mean? Yeah. Go ahead.
Is it like when Kenny Chung came out of the trunk of the car during Hangover?
And
Well, can I want to say something. I want to say something about that. All right. I wish they would have CGI'd his penis.
Because what do you think it did, showing his penis?
Because
it
I
perpetuated.
have to be honest, because I've seen his penis. I mean, I don't know if we can talk about this.
We
but-
can.
We've
yeah.
all seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen in real life though.
Okay.
And you've seen mine and stuff. Like mine's way bigger. And I just want to put
they're-
out.
they're friends,
I just want
by
to
the
put that.
way.
We're
They're-
friends. Look, there's a photo of it. I just want to put that out there.
when
Mine's way
did you
bigger.
guys-
Guys like in a shower
Yeah,
together.
when were you seeing each other's penises? Just curious. You don't have to answer.
Well,
But now I'm-
comedians. I mean, not sketch, not sketch. No, not sketch.
Okay,
not
not
sketch,
sketch.
because you guys are more professional.
Yeah, we keep our underwear on.
I understand that you guys are more professional and you guys have rules.
There's
but
never been a time backstage when we would have to strip down to like nothing.
I know, but Cheryl,
Okay.
it's not like I like. I'm friends with Whitney Cumming, a lot of female comics.
Yeah.
I would never obviously show my genitals unless they asked, right?
Okay, right. That's fair.
But with comics, it's like we're
Let
on
me
the
see
road.
yours. I'm going to show you mine.
Yeah.
That's
What does
fun.
yours look like?
Okay.
And they look at mine. Oh, I have 3 colors or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
what?
Wait, but that's how female comics are too, though. Whitney, Esther, Annie.
Yeah,
The
they
first-
show each other their
So basically,
vaginas.
the first meeting with any of those 3 girls, it's always like, "Hey, you want to see?" And then it's like full bush out everything. So it's almost like just
This is a
the
different
comic
world.
introduction.
Well,
yeah.
if politicians
Different
did that,
world
well, if
than
politicians did that, maybe we have a better world that we
Yeah.
live in. Maybe.
Honey,
maybe.
let's get it
I'm
going.
glad-
If Kim Jong Un and like Putin,
Yeah.
maybe they
Just
were
got together and like
maybe
just
there's more of a
show me
connection.
yours.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right,
Let's
we'll
move
try
on.
it.
Let's move on from it.
Okay.
What's your question?
No. You were saying
No,
something about.
I was done with that. I was telling the fans to go see him whenever he's playing. So I thought you said you had a couple more questions.
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, what are your thoughts on exes being really close friends? Because Bobby and I
Because we're
dated
not dated for 10 years. We're no longer together.
Yeah.
But we
But we still do this
everything
podcast.
together.
We do everything together.
We raise-
How do you feel about that?
I like it. I'm good friends with my ex.
Oh, good.
Like and
And he comes on all of our ski vacations. He stays with us.
Oh, does he really? Yeah.
yes.
One time, we had a ski vacation planned that he was going to come with us, and then Cheryl got a job and couldn't come, so me and her ex
Bro date?
Wow, bro.
Yes.
date?
went together.
Wow.
Yes, and they just because I was like, well, you guys, I'm not going to be able to make it, so I thought the vacation would be off, and they were like, okay, we'll go without you. They took the kids
So
skiing.
good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I was like, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
So
I like it. I think it's nice, and I think it's like
It's good for the kids.
well, it's good for the kids, and even if you don't have kids together, it's nice because you've spent time with somebody, you know them really, really well.
Well,
and
people
you
online, they
love
can't.
them.
They're confused by it. It's like, sex is such a small part
Yeah.
of a relationship, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be attracted. To,
I heard a giggle.
Yeah.
Why God?
Because he's the,
You said a small part.
you're saying like it's a small part.
It's a small part.
Yeah, and then
Very small part.
And then that's where people's minds
So
go.
and
Or it could be a large
big
part.
big part.
We don't know. It could be a large part.
So anyway, I mean,
Yeah, but I think that people have like very like rigid ideas
Yeah.
on like what love can look like.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Bobby and I like struggle with at the moment. We're like, just leave.
Are you
each
talking about
other.
that, Bobby? Or
This.
is it all right if I call you Bobby from now on?
Yes.
That'd be really nice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you should.
So but people are confused by it. But you know what? I love her as a person. We're friends. I trust her.
And it's,
Yeah.
it's
Implicitly
so
with things,
easy between
Yeah.
us. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's just been so familiar for 10 years, and
but
he's family.
And does it bother relationships that you come into now where
I'm very clear right up front when I meet a guy. It's like, he is a very big part of my life. I love him. I will never stop loving him. Like, if that's not something that you can deal with, then let me know up
Keep
front.
walking.
Yeah.
I just introduced her. We were in Seattle. We were doing a show.
I just met a girl. He's
and
dating.
I met a girl
She's
that I'm
lovely.
dating,
Okay.
and it was the first time I've introduced her.
Were you
to some-
nervous?
I was petrified because
were.
if you guys
They
didn't
get
get
along.
along, then it's over.
But you got to trust women in these situations.
What do you mean?
I don't know, because this is a girl you like, respect. She was lovely, by the way. And I feel like it went without a
Yeah,
hitch.
but I wouldn't. You know what? You're right because I wouldn't because I've dated some crazies too. You know?
haven't we all? Yeah, no,
yeah.
no.
And I wouldn't introduce you to them.
You're right.
But her,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah.
I know. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do. What are some tips on long-lasting love?
That's a good one.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. I can't wait to hear this.
I would say that, Scott Peck wrote this book, The Road Less Traveled. The first line of that book is that love is effort. And, to understand that love is not that kind of adolescent infatuation, that's a wonderful feeling and it should be part of every relationship. But, the important part of love is is recognizing that it means, making the effort of, I try to anticipate what Cheryl wants and what's going to make her happy, and I try to do that. I don't like washing the dishes, but I enjoy doing them because I know it's going to make her happy. I had this guy told me one time when I first got
Starts
sober.
drifting away from the microphone. I'm like,
Yeah.
get back
But
to
he
it.
told me, he told me this story that he was staying up all night with the baby, which I knew that feeling well, how exhausting it is and how demanding it is when you have, young children that they just keep you up all night. And he was letting his wife sleep and he said the baby was sick. The child was sick. It was, maybe 2 or 3 year old. And that he was sitting up because the child had croup or something that, was regularly getting them up during the night. He was sitting in a chair in an easy chair, sort of dozing in the child's room. And the baby cried and he jumped up, but he literally leaped up. And when he landed, he planted his foot on the heel of his foot on a thumbtack.
Oh.
Which buried itself in his heel. And he said that his first feeling at that point was of extraordinary gratitude that he had landed on that thumbtack rather than the child finding it. Oh. And, to me, that was kind of one of the first times I started thinking about what love really is, which is not, which is not something that is ego-driven or self-serving, but something that is completely willing to put all of your ego and self-will aside and to try to really live to make the other person happy.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that's sweet.
You hear that?
Yeah, I fucked it
Dishes, thumbtack.
up. I fucked it up.
Dishes,
Yeah, yeah.
thumbtacks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I didn't
it.
do any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put I put no effort in. I'm sorry. I fucked up. All right.
That's why you guys are where you are
Yeah,
now.
but in the next life, you'll see effort.
You got it.
Yeah, well, you'll see effort.
The next girl's gonna live it up.
Listen, guys. I was petrified about this podcast. I really was because we've had just silly people on. You know what I mean? But you guys were so silly. You guys were so fun, and I just like you guys so much,
I
man.
know.
I really do. I
This
really
was
like
really
you, dude,
fun.
Bobby. I think you're a cool dude. And hopefully, because I'm friends with Binder. Maybe we'll go to a meeting or something one day together. But I feel like I'm going to see you again. But I really want. Thank you.
That's Sue.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sue.
He knew.
I knew
you,
Sue.
Sue.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm so just glad that you guys found time to come here to do this.
Oh, it was really fun.
And our audience is they love us and they listen to us, and hopefully some of them or all of them will support you on your venture.
Kennedy24.com.
Yeah, yes, and I am rooting for you, my friend.
All right.
Thank
I
you,
really
Bobby.
am. So give them a round of applause. So we're back because we forgot to talk about why you guys, Cheryl, are you mad at MADtv?
I'm mad at MADtv. Well, I got over it. Because I was at the groundling. Yeah, go ahead.
But I want to say this.
Yeah.
All right. But if you were on Mad, you would have never gotten curved.
That's true.
Right? So
It is so true.
it's God looking out for you.
It's true because I was in the Groundlings, which is a sketch comedy improv theater, and some of my good friends.
Hitchcock,
Yeah, who was your
Hitchcock,
class?
Mike McDonald,
Mike McDonald, Danielle Gaither.
Danielle Gaither. Yeah.
So they were on. They got MADtv.
They all did,
I had auditioned over and over, and I think the fourth time I auditioned, they were like, "Okay, don't take any other job. because this is going to happen for you. And I'm just waiting around. It's not happening. And then I got a call to audition for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Allison Jones.
Allison Jones. Love that show.
Allison Jones, I love her.
And then I got Curb. I got Curb.
I mean-
and then I never, looked back. But at the time, I wanted to be on MADtv. So
Why?
badly. But you guys were funny and you were fun, and it was just
I know, but there was pain.
pain.
Less money.
There was pain, less money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No notoriety, nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
nothing. Well, how long was it on? Did you say
14 years.
14?
Yeah, why? I was only on the last 8.
I don't know.
I was-
It is a lot.
I was in the
Long
dismal
time.
when it went down.
But-
I was on it with some great people. I'm still friends with them.
Yeah.
Mike, Jordan Peele, Keegan,
Keegan.
Alex Borstein. I mean, just the
Yeah.
list goes. Will
Yeah,
Fassel,
yeah.
the list goes on.
You guys had an amazing cast.
Yeah. So I was lucky in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But God was looking after you.
I know. I got over it. Yeah, I got over it.
Because as comics go,
yes.
I'm going to be real, and
Bring it
this is
down.
not. This is truth.
Okay.
It's just one of those shows. The show that you're on. That's one of the greatest comedy shows ever made.
Isn't that it's
Ever
amazing.
made.
And the thing about Curb is when I auditioned for it, it was only when I auditioned for it, it was just a 1-hour special. It
Wow.
was never meant to be.
Oh yeah, but he was going to do a special. That was the whole thing.
He was going to do a stand-up special.
Yeah.
And at the end of the 1 hour, he was like, "No, I'm not going on." And then they, called and said, "Well, we want to turn it into a."
Serious.
Series.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching Larry do stand up around town, getting ready for that special. And then there was a whole thing about the hotel, about the porn thing. Like, did you
Yeah,
order porn?
yeah.
Yeah, it was so
Who
funny.
pays for the
Who
porn?
played for the porn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they turned that into a series. It's amazing. But you won the lottery.
I did.
And
did.
also on top of it,
Yeah.
you fucking killed it on that show.
Ah, that's good.
You killed it.
Baby, tell them about how you got the audition, about what happened at your audition.
This is a long.
Tell us.
We gotta go. Yeah.
We're winding it down.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time.
We'll do it
Next
next
time. Next
Oh,
time.
You say next
Wait.
time. Don't.
Yay.
Nani ay makabulo